Hi.
Hi, Robert. Hi, Luke.
Hello.
Thanks for helping my project. Did y'all know that NASA's planning to send astronauts back to the moon?
Actually didn't.
I knew about that, yeah.
How did you find out about it?
Just from like news, and I know a few people who have closer ties to NASA, so that's how I heard about it. But yeah,
What do you think about it?
I'm all for it. Honestly, I think it's really cool that we're going back now. It's been a while, but yeah.
And what do you think?
I think it's cool to have like funding getting put towards that stuff. It's cool to have big projects like that going to the moon and potentially other places.
And whenever y'all think about where it might take us, like 200 years out in the future, do you see? I mean, how does humanity look?
I think this is a great step in like the right direction, because I mean, I don't know how much you want to get into this, but
Sure.
I think it's really cool. Just honestly, the idea of us becoming like a species that is multiplanetary. So I think this is a great step in the right direction.
More or less feel the same, where it's just a really cool prospect to like be on different planets and stuff like that, and cool idea to think about and conceptualize.
And so y'all think at some point, maybe even within the next 200 years, we actually have people living on the moon, Mars, other places?
Who knows? I think there's like a lot of boundaries we need to go over. Of course, first it's like getting there and then doing it consistently, and then actually having people stationed there like over periods of time. But I think like the economical and honestly just like the gain for us as a species is really great, but should be interesting. I don't know about in our lifetime, but you know, at the rate technology goes, it's like, who knows? So
I know, I just think about that spaceship that Elon's building down there in Brownsville, you know.
it can land, right?
It could land,
Relaunch.
take off, and
Yeah.
they just fill it up and go, like maybe multiple times a day type of thing.
Yeah.
Transformational. But if you could, would you take a trip to space?
No.
No?
I'm
No.
not too freaked out by stuff like that, but
Oh, really?
yeah.
Not for me, to be honest.
But have y'all like fly and do other things, right?
I don't mind flying too much. I don't think I've ever really been like a huge fan of the idea of going into space myself. I like the idea of like, oh, people are going into space, but not for me.
Knowing it's happening, not necessarily actually doing
No.
it. Yeah. I'm kind of more the same page, where it's a little freaky to me, like actually being that like far out of things, especially because like all this stuff that's happened. It feels like it's just like an incredibly dangerous thing. I feel like it'd take a long time for me to feel comfortable with like how safe it would be.
But that's an interesting question. How many people would have to go and come back before y'all are like, oh, let's do it? Like 1,000, 1,000,000?
I don't know. It
a
might
billion?
maybe growing up with it being just a thing that happens like once in a while, and of course the results are kind of mixed. Hearing all those stories, I don't know if that mindset is going to change in the future.
Oh, I
if it
see.
becomes a consistently done thing, I'm sure I'll be more willing to, but I think that apprehension is always going to be there. So
Like Challenger in Columbia,
Yeah,
that kind of way
yeah.
in the back of your mind. And I guess now, what was it, Ocean Gate? Or what's the submarine that imploded?
yeah, Ocean
I
Gate.
don't remember the name of the thing. I don't remember.
I think ocean for me is off limits.
Yeah,
totally.
that's like the same, like,
Space
reason why
might be a
space
bit
is kind of a little bit
different,
out there
but
for me.
yeah, definitely a Challenger. That's a pretty sad story. So, and of course, I mean, you look at planes now, and it's like this statistics, like it's so low.
Right.
But as that technology was developing, of course, there was more mishaps. So I'm sure like it's going to become a lot more reliable in the future. But for me right now, it's like not my thing.
Yeah.
Well-
Out of the question.
Well, Robert, Luke, I really appreciate your time.
Thank
you
you.
so much.